You would think that with Republicans winning the presidency last week, winning the Senate last week, and of course most likely retaining control of the House of Representatives, that they wouldn't need to stage a coup like they attempted to do in the year 2020 after the election. But according to a lot of Donald Trump allies, apparently there is still a coup taking place within the Republican Party. You know, hey, we thought maybe we're not going to see a coup this year, but Republicans are already telling us, by God, the coup is underway. And the coup is coming from within the Republican Party. But not just within the Republican Party. The coup is coming from one very specific individual who wields a lot of power in the Republican Party. Because according to Donald Trump's allies, Mitch McConnell himself has somehow launched a coup against Donald Trump to take away some of his powers. Here is what Tucker Carlson wrote on Twitter. What the hell is going on in the U.S. Senate? Hours after Donald Trump wins the most conclusive mandate in 40 years, Mitch McConnell engineers a coup against his agenda by calling early leadership elections in the Senate. 2 of the 3 candidates hate Trump and what he ran on. One of them, John Cornyn, is an angry liberal whose politics are indistinguishable from Liz Cheney's. Listen, John Cornyn is not a liberal. His politics are indistinguishable from Liz Cheney's. Oh, you mean the woman who voted with Donald Trump 97% of the time? That suddenly we're supposed to believe is this massive liberal? Whatever. The election is Wednesday. It's by secret ballot, and it will determine whether or not the new administration succeeds. Rick Scott of Florida is the only candidate who agrees with Donald Trump. Call your senator and demand a public endorsement of Rick Scott. Don't let McConnell get away with it again. Tucker Carlson begged his audience. There's only 1 day left. You gotta make the calls. Oh dear, oh me. Put Rick Scott in there. The guy that lost all that money for the National Republican Senatorial Committee, like tens of millions of dollars, just poof, gone, never gave any answers for it. And it was so bad they had to replace him with Steve Daines the last couple years. That's the guy you want in charge? I mean, that's actually very similar, by the way, to what happened with the company that Rick Scott was running, but he had to plead the fifth 72 times so that he didn't incriminate himself. But that's a story for a different day, right? This man can't be in charge of things because when he's in charge of things, money disappears and we don't know where it goes. Yeah, there's a pattern of behavior there. But if that's what you guys want in charge of the Republican Party, then by all means, pick the a-hole. That's on you at that point. You've seen the warning signs, but you want to ignore those red flags thinking it's a party, do your thing. But Carlson, of course, is not the only one saying that McConnell is launching a coup. Laura Loomer also chimed in saying, quote, "Told ya. I said Republicans would lose their mind when they realized what McConnell did in violation of Senate GOP bylaws by scheduling the vote for November 13th. Why didn't anyone have the balls to talk about this a month ago like I did? A little too late." Nobody had the balls but you, Laura, right? I thought your party was against that. Why didn't anyone have the balls to talk about this a month ago like I did? A little too late for the outrage, given that we should have been addressing this before the election to protect Donald Trump. People cried about unity, though. This is what unity gets you. A McConnell coup to undermine the entire second Trump admin. Enjoy your unity. Listen. Mitch McConnell calling for a vote, let's get leadership positions taken care of, is not, by the way, against the bylaws, you idiot. He can do that. And honestly, it's probably the best step forward for the Republican Party. Not that I want them to be organized, but if I were running the party, knowing that we're going to be in the majority again, we're going to have this unilateral control of every branch of government, I would be like, hey, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Right? We know who the people are going to be. Let's go ahead and have a vote. And if you guys want to confer with Donald Trump, the president-elect, you all have his phone number. Any of you could call them. Hey, Donald Trump could also just show up on Wednesday to the vote. And they're not going to kick him out. So he can go and campaign for the person he wants. This isn't a coup. It's basically just like, hey, we got paperwork to do. Let's get the paperwork out of the way now so we're not bogged down with it in January. It's actually a pretty smart move. And if you're worried that they're cutting out Donald Trump, why don't you call Trump and say, hey, Get on your stupid ass private plane and go fly to DC and make sure they pick your guy. It's that simple, but of course, it also makes sense. So naturally, Republicans won't do it. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.